Okay, so we're back on Ed Black Sea Offstage Talks, and our guest now is Jan Mackinnon, who is the founder of Mackinnon Saunders animation studio responsible for animating such films such as Fantastic Mr. Fox, Corpse Bride, Mars Attacks, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Jan, I guess you didn't know much about Georgia before Ed Black Sea. What was something that you found out and maybe said to yourself, I made the right decision accepting this invitation?
I think because it's based, I thought it was based around advertising, but it's based around creative communities, and sort of the idea that that all these people will come from from various different backgrounds and be here. It's incredible, 1,300 people. Sharing ideas and being inspired by the guests and being able to share that creativity. So it was. I never thought I'd be in Georgia, so it seemed a great opportunity.
Is there anything that you found out and inspired you, or?
Apparently, you have 8,000 years worth of wine production here.
Yeah,
so I had to come to taste the Georgian wine.
How did you like it?
I had my first glass last night. It went down very well.
Excellent. Jan, stop motion animation is a very meticulous and time-consuming process, and you have dedicated your whole life with Mackinnon Saunders. How important was devotion for you in perfecting your craft, and especially in the industry where faster digital methods are often dominating at the moment?
Well, I think because so many people told us that something we really love doing. 25 years ago, they said this is going to be extinct soon. You won't be doing this for long. So I think that the impetus from that is that that we took it was okay. Well, let's enjoy this process because we really love making things. We really love making puppets. We love working on productions. So if he's not going to be around, we have to cherish what we have. So I think we face each project thinking, well, this might be the last stop motion project. And we've been doing that very successfully for the last 25 years. We value every day of the work that we do, and hopefully during that period that each time we do a project what can we learn next? What will be the next thing that we can add to the process, and keep it a very living, very current process rather than being something that's purely traditional. It's based on methods from the past.
And I'd say you might be prolonging the life of stop motion animation with each project you make because people might feel inspired by your films.
I think we've managed to work with some great creative teams and great producers and directors, and having some of the big directors, Tim Burton and Wes Anderson and Guillermo del Toro, people of that nature who fly the flag for stop motion animation, and that's really helped keep the art form going.
You've just mentioned directors like Tim Burton, Guillermo del Toro, Wes Anderson, and each of them have very unique vision and style. What's it like collaborating with directors like that, and how do you balance their ideas and while leaving your own creative mark on the projects?
Well, Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro have made their own stop motion productions very early on in their career. They were it was something they wanted to get. They wanted to get their hands dirty and make those projects things. So they made short films. So it's something that is in their DNA. So although they've gone on to make incredible live action movies and animated content, it's a process that excites them still, and so for us it's a real honor to be able to collaborate with them, and if we can help tell their stories, if we can be part of that process and help develop the characters and give them the right tools to develop those stories, then that's inspirational for us.
Beautiful. Mackinnon Saunders has become one of the top names in animation, and working on films like Corpse Bride, Isle of Dogs, Pinocchio. What was the pivotal moment in your journey, and what advice would you give to aspiring animators around the world and in Georgia?
Yeah, hopefully our nice of most of the audience here quite young. So the very first film that we made almost 30 years ago, probably our nice of they might not have seen The Sandman, but that one film that we made, I know early on in our careers, which changed the pathway that we were following. It sort of we want to be authentic to our nice of to want to tell the real story, rather than a sanitized version sort of thing. We want to do something that's more striking visually. What we learnt on that film is still relevant, and hopefully the audience realise, we can do that, and we can make a short film, we can make a mark somehow, and sometimes it's very hard to think, how do you get from where you are as a young filmmaker or a young sort of artist to how do you get to work on these larger projects? How do you so it's hopefully you can see that sort of pathway and see it's achievable.
During your speech, you mentioned that sometimes young people come to your studio that have no skills whatsoever, and you help them develop these skills of crafting these fantastic figures. What are you looking for in young creatives to flourish their desire to craft such things?
I think when it comes to the puppet making, it's sort of they might not have the skills in puppet making, but they have a skill. They've demonstrated some skill to us. So whether it's ceramicists or they're illustrators or the jewelers. So you can see from their work that they're very dedicated to what they're doing, and they've got a real control and real understanding of the materials, and a real they're driven creatively. So it's then sort of taking those skills and then sort of saying, well, look, you can focus that in a different way, and that can be part of the puppet making process. It's a big team that we work with, and there's lots of specialists within that team. So it's nice of taking sort of some of those graduates and sort of working with them to become part of that larger team, and hopefully then find out that they're excited by, they're not just working with their own specialism. When they start to work with a team, they can see how together that makes a stronger product, that makes a stronger character for a film.
Thank you. And for the last question, we would like you to address folks who couldn't make it to this year's AdBlackSea for whatever reason. What would you say they are missing out on, and why should they try to come to AdBlackSea next year?
I think when you're amongst creative people, whatever background they're from, sort of thing. I know the energy that you get from the speakers here and from the audience is fantastic. It's sort of and to have such a concentrated few days, and people from all around the world that have come here to talk about their work. It's so inspiring for even people that have been working in the industry for a long time. So it's refreshing, and people need to make the journey to Georgia.
Thank you very much, Ian, for your inspiring speech and for visiting us in the Offstage Talks of the AdBlackSea. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.